Do I look okay?
You look great.
Really?
Yeah.
Welcome to the Bourbon Van. I'm Phil.
I'm Julie. It's day 10 already.
This episode of the 2024 Bourbon Van Advent Whiskey Tournament is brought to you by Still Austin Cask Strength Rye Whiskey. Featuring intense aromas, a robust palate, and a long, complex finish, it's the perfect whiskey for the holiday season. Or any season. Seriously, this whiskey's so good. Second day of the second round.
Yeah.
And it's all sort of starting to blend together. It's bleeding from day to day. Are we doing a good job? I have no idea.
Well, apparently we were on the same page in round one because today, in the logo glass, 3-2, and in the other 5 Sip Friday glass, 4-2. So we're drinking the same thing, which is always lovely.
Oh, finally. Yeah. A little less to do in the editing room, thankfully.
Yeah.
Well, shoot, nothing to do then but to get right to it, right?
And to thank our sponsor.
Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot, Still Austin. You guys are awesome. And thanks to everybody who submitted whiskeys and who has filled out a bracket and who's been watching. And JT and Santa Claus. Everybody's been great. On to the nose, starting with 3-2. Yes.
Huh. This is the one that... We'll check the tape. But that I said that it smelled like sour milk, potentially?
Maybe. It's really unique. This one on the nose is super unique. It's fruity, it's musty, it's creamy, all those things on the nose.
Yeah.
Maybe apricots and cream. I don't want to say peaches and cream. I don't think it's that bold of a flavor on the nose there, of an aroma.
Ooh, very different. Very oaky.
Oh, wow. I remember this nose.
A little hint of bitterness there on the finish. The nose finish. Is there a nose finish?
No.
Maybe when you breathe in too far, that finish?
Yeah, the tail end. I'll say this for it. This smells like vanilla and fruit and the cream candies from the 90s. We've talked about those a couple of times now. Strawberries and cream, a little bit of spice there.
Yeah, I get a lot of baking cinnamon on this one.
Oh boy. Okay, this is going to be a really interesting matchup. I was going to say let's start with glass 2 today, but the nose on glass 2 strikes me as huge. So I'm thinking we start with 3-2. What do you think?
It's a toss-up for me.
You know what? Let's start with the second glass today.
Okay, perfect.
Let's just keep mixing it up. Let's see what happens out here. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for following along. That one's good. I got a real pattern going on with things that taste like delicious desserts. Because that one as well has a hint of coffee, a lot of creaminess, a little bit of caramel, some vanilla. The oak is pretty light for me, but the finish, it's like a good mouthfeel.
It's like, this
great.
This is like the best flan you've never had.
Yeah.
Man, that's delicious. There may be...
Like this one.
Yeah. There's some notes that remind me of like a Pinot on the tail end of this one. Seems like it's been aged for a while.
Yep.
There are some complex, beautiful flavors here. Oh boy, and it continues to change. It's evolving all the time. There's a lot to like here. I just took a second sip and the fruit on the tip of the tongue is bright, even though there's some musty oak on the back. To the balance here, there's nothing that I dislike about this glass. That's terrific.
I didn't even need to take a second sip to know that I liked it.
Yeah.
But I do want to think about the flavors as we go into glass number 1.
I think I was just greedy for it. I think I just wanted more, so I took a second sip.
I don't blame you. All right, cleanse the palate.
Yep.
So I need to get those delicious flavors cleared away.
Yeah, get it all out of there so we can start fresh.
If this is the sour milk one, I obviously liked it because I moved it forward, regardless of the nose. So I am interested to see what this one tastes like.
Okay, glass 3-1, did we say? 3-2.
2.
3-2. Okay, here we go.
Ooh, that one's good too. Fluffy. It's almost like marshmallows.
Oh, this one, yeah, it's got a toasted character to it.
Yeah, and I'm picturing marshmallows, like warm marshmallows with like melted caramel on top.
Well, you make it sound great.
I know.
This is really nice too. Oh, this is a tough matchup because these are nothing alike.
Yeah.
These are two totally different types of whiskeys. This one dissipates a little bit. The finish does not stick around as much. Or if it does, it's not sticking around in as bombastic of a sort of character. It faded from memory pretty quickly, so I'm going to go back for a second sip here. that glass, what is it, 4-2 back here? That one definitely took me for a longer ride. That was actually more interesting, I think. But we'll see where the second sip here takes us.
Yeah, on this one I'm getting a little bit of bananas, but not like fresh, just peeled bananas. Almost just like they're kind of on their last leg. So they're a little bit mushy.
Like a cream pie or something like that. There's a cinnamon presence here that's more prevalent. There's a breadiness here.
Yes, yes, banana pie.
Yeah.
Nailed it.
I like
Hopefully.
It is nice. It's almost like a toasted, like a crust is made out of like some sort of toasted walnut or something like that. There is a lot to like here. There's more than we found previously, I think. I think I need to spend some more time with both of these, but I'm going to really focus on this front glass here because I think that it's a very enjoyable whiskey, but it's not striking me as having as much complexity. The finish isn't as long. It coats nicely, but not quite as nice as this other glass. I think it's being outclassed here, but I need to spend some more time with it to figure that out.
Do you know what glass 1 reminds me of? You're going to hate this analogy.
Bananas.
Well, yeah, it does. But rusk pie, which can't even tell you what it is. But
I hate that you said it because I hate it, but you're right.
But it's this thing, this pie that my mom makes at Christmas time, and it's got like a crackery crust. And then it's probably just eggs, cream, and sugar is what the middle is, because there's no real flavor in it. But not that this doesn't have real flavor, but that pie could have like a banana flavor too. And then there's just like...
There's a rusk presence here. I don't know how to I don't know why.
Yeah.
But I hate that you're right.
It has the rusk, and I don't even know what rusk is, but that gets sprinkled on top and then you bake it. And it's I think it's delicious, but it is not for everyone. Case in point.
Yeah, it's certainly not for this one. Well, we are going to cleanse palates, do a little testing here, go back and forth, and it's going to be a couple of minutes before we get back to you, except for right now, in real time, it's about to happen right in front of you. Well, we didn't get too far into our A/B testing before. You said that you were actually done already.
I was done already.
Yeah, and I'm right behind you here. So, count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Well, that wasn't. Yeah, that's not a huge surprise because there's so much complexity here. It's delicious.
This one goes back to my catchphrase, wow me with that first sip, and boy, howdy did she.
Yeah, this one, the aroma is bigger.
Yeah.
The palate is more complex and has more character to it, and the finish is great, lasts longer, and it's a huge finish. I mean, there's so much to find, whereas this first glass is just super pleasant. I think we've said that about this one. We tasted it last time, too. Super pleasant, whatever that is. I would never say no to a glass of it. I think it's very, very tasty. Just doesn't have the complexity. We're looking for something really, really impressive. This glass right here, 4-2, that is impressive whiskey. That's beautiful.
Yeah, and I don't necessarily always say things are balanced, but when I can't find anything wrong with something, I just generally say, like, that must be a balanced whiskey.
Yep.
And that's how I feel about the second glass here. Yeah. I mean, no negatives. There's no tick marks on this one.
Yeah, the finish is lingering with sweetness and spice. And what more can you ask from your whiskey? Because it's just such a satisfying experience, which means 3-2 has been eliminated. Santa Paws, what are we talking about here? What is this stuff?
Forget about it. Elijah Craig Toasted Rye.
Elijah Craig? That wasn't even a thought in my brain that it could have been Elijah Craig.
No, I want to say that this is our first time trying the Toasted Rye, which just, I believe, came out this year. That's wild. What a tasty little sipper. Doesn't change the fact that whatever is in Class 4-2 is
delicious.
Stunningly complex. Fantastic. It was going to win either way, but that is, honestly, that Elijah Craig Toasted Rye, I've not seen or heard anything about it out there. Seen it on the shelf, haven't picked it up because the Toasted Bourbon was never my favorite. I actually think that this Toasted Rye is pretty fantastic.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. It was up against stiff competition, so...
Yeah, absolutely. That was a dangerous whiskey right here, and if it hadn't met this juggernaut right here, I think that could have done some real damage in this competition, and let's face it, it's in the second round, so it already did a little bit of damage. Well, there you go. Day 10, right?
In the books.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you to Santa Paws for cheering us up as she does almost every single day, and what a fun day. I can't wait to see what day 11 holds from wherever we are.
To wherever you are.
Cheers.
Cheers. How many asterisks do you think we're going to have in these videos? She did not say that. It was not banana.
I'm not going to do any of that. It's too much work.
Calling all hitchhikers, hop-ons, backseat drivers, and navigators. The Bourbon Van is hitting the road from coast to coast in 2025, and we want you to come along for the ride. Join our Patreon community for as little as $3 a month to make sure you never miss a meetup, single barrel selection, or road trip adventure.